What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Nicole. Hey, TMP Customs. Beta, what's good? T-Lo, hey. We're about to get into a little Photoshopish for class tonight. This is class number 187. And again, this is one of those style templates that I see people buying a lot of PNGs of. And when I see something like that, every so often I'll get a request for us to make a Photoshop version. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this one quickly again, because this is going to be your shortcut to when you're done with the class and you want a short form version of this tutorial. This will be it. So what you're going to receive is this file the way that it looks here, but it is completely editable considering the colors, the patterns that you can put on here, as well as the text at the top and the bottom. Now the word love is going to stay the same. The icon you can change out. So for class, all I want you to have is an icon to change out here. It can be a mascot. We're going to change it to a sunflower, but I just want you to have your theme in mind here. Think, what can you sell upcoming? Would it be sports, football's coming back up? It might be a particular club that you're into, so maybe it's the 4-H club or something. Get really creative with this. It does not have to be sports related, and it doesn't have to be exactly what you see. Just whatever you love, that's what you're gonna make this. As a matter of fact, try out your logo. If you don't have anything else to do, put your logo there in place of the dog. But I want you to do something that is going to sell, okay? So think of something that you can sell right now. All right, hold on just one moment, y'all. I have to do a quick print. Just a moment. This just came up during the live. Doing some production today for Dr. Bobby Price's line, and he had such a successful launch. So y'all make sure y'all support drbobbyprice.com if you're into holistic healing, all of that great stuff. Dr. Bobby even came to speak to us a little while, so he's going to come back and do a full session with us. And all right, I'm just printing off a few of these, getting those going. And back to your regular scheduled message. All right, so we want to be able to change out the colors. We want to be able to change out the mascot. The first thing is, and I'm going to bring a shortcut to the mascot up here. So basically all you really have to do is change out your images here. Oh, you know what? I forgot I was not holding down the Alt key as I was dragging that to make a copy. All right. And all of these will be turned off whenever we get ready to print. This is just here for us to kind of get an idea. And the reason why I have these, sometimes you'll bring in patterns that you'll want to use as is. Other times, let's say you bring in this plaid pattern. It's a red buffalo plaid, and it doesn't go with my CMYK theme. I've also placed a way for you all to change out the colors while having some control of how those colors affect the pattern or the print underneath. Okay, so that's really what this session is going to be about, you learning how you're able to change your different blend modes and work with them in order to get the desired effect. All right, so for right now, I'm going to go ahead and take this and make a little snippet of our art. I go into the art folder, right clicking, quick export as PNG. And I'm going to save this as my first version of the art. So when we do our switch out, we'll have that available. more. Now this truly should be about a 5-minute template. Nothing more once you actually understand how to explore this thing. Let's start by changing out the accent image here. We're going to change it to a sunflower. You would do this by doing File, Place Embedded, and you place your image there. So we have the sunflower here with the background already removed. So please come to class with the background already removed. You can use Remove BG. That's what I did for the sunflower. And now all of a sudden we have a sunflower theme here. And we can change out the colors now too. So let's say that we're going to go with the change of the colors here. Hold on just a moment, y'all. All right, hopefully you can hear me now. I'm going to go ahead and change out the colors here. Color 1, 2, and 3. Let's not even worry about the patterns right now. Let's just change out the colors. We'll double click on the color. And here I'm going to duplicate. Hopefully you have some colors that you want to change out to. For the sunflower, I'm going to go ahead and grab a few colors. And I'm going to pick directly from the image. So we'll try this bright yellow here. Double click, add the swatches, go 1, hit enter. And then I'm going to choose a little bit darker gold here. Add the swatches, I'll put a number 2 and hit enter. And then finally, let me grab this brown color here. Add the swatches, that'll be swatch number 3. And you can go into each of your smart colors here and select the color that you want to replace it. So now you see color 1 updates here. Color 2, let's double click on that. I'm just duplicating it in class. All you're going to do is just replace the existing color that's there. And instead of double clicking on the color, when you have a swatch selected, all you have to do is literally pick the swatch immediately while you're clicked onto the smart color or to the color swatch. I'm going to duplicate this one so I keep my yellow there. Yes to update. All right, so you'll see we updated these colors, but the way that the colors affect the prints behind it depend on a few factors here. So what you're going to play with levels, and it has a black and white layer on there too. Now, of course, if we want to use the colors in the original print, you see this one, this marble color here. If we turn off the levels, turn off the black and white, and turn off the color on top of that, then you'll see that the V updates to the natural color of the image. So if you want to go with these pinks and golds and a little bit of blue there, then you would keep that. If you want to go with the color scheme, you could turn this color on. And then the levels, the black and white, just really allow you to play with how that color is really affecting the background. So where you really see this is with the letter E. And let me show you that. If I turn off the levels here, you'll notice how it just gets a little bit darker. The levels you can adjust based on the color that you put on top. So let's say, for instance, you do a pastel color. You probably want to go with a lighter level. I'm going to duplicate this because this level works really, really well when you have light colors, but with dark colors, not so much. So for this one, we can double click here and really play with the midtones, the shadows, and the highlights so that we get a more chocolate color there. And let's say, for instance, for the L, let's say that we see the color here, but we like the natural color of the leopard print. Then we can turn off the color, turn off the black and white, and you get the natural color of the leopard in there. Cool stuff. All right, so that was just changing out the colors there. You can also change out the images. Let's say there is let's say we want to do like a football texture. Let's look one up real quick. So let's look up, probably even have one in my downloads, to be honest. Let's see. There you go. I have a football texture. Okay, so what we can do is double click. Let's say we want the football texture in place of the plaid there. Let's go to that image. So that'll be image number 3. We'll double click on it. You'll see the buffalo plaid there. And I'm just going to drag and drop football texture here. Hit enter. Lock in that transformation. Let's hit yes to save that. And really what you should do, if you're not going to use a layer, turn the eyeball off for it, because it'll make that particular smart object have a smaller file size. Trust me, it's worth it. Alright, so now I have my texture there. I can choose whether I want the color to show or not, the natural color, or do I want to do the color that I specifically chose. All right, so I'm loving that. And although the football texture doesn't go specifically with this, I think you get the idea that you can play around with these. We even have some patterns in here. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to go with the pattern inside of there. You could double click. And you have to go to the class. We're not doing patterns in this class, but if you already have some patterns saved, which, you know, I gave you all some zodiac patterns, and we've created patterns before in several other classes, but this is where you get a chance to really play with that. So I'm going to bring my pattern size down. That looks cool. I can change the angle of it. There we go. So now I have options here with how this plays with the colors and the patterns below. And I think we'll turn back on, and the way that we will turn back on the other pattern. So if we don't want the texture, the football here, we'll double click on image, bring back the plaid, and then hit yes to save. But I think I'm going to leave this one here just so we get the gist of it. So to change out the text is really simple. I'm going to tell you what font that you need to download. We'll go to that text there, and it says for the, so you just double click, change out the words there, and choose which color or texture you want to color that in. You can use the patterns, solid color, and you may have to change the blend mode of these colors. For instance, this was on color, so if you want to see the color just by itself, you have to put it on normal. If you want to see how the color affects the texture underneath, then you can put it on a blend mode such as color. And then let's say for this one, we want to say for the love of sunshine, like the inspirational image, we will type in the word sunshine after we double clicked on the T for this layer. And we have a completely different design here. Now, what I would do in this instance is also change out my little squiggles here. So you will have squiggles. And let me find the squiggle here. I actually have a folder just called squiggles. Right here. So that's your squiggles group. We have this little squiggle right here. We're going to duplicate it. So we're going to zoom in. I'm going to turn off my other squiggles. I'm going to take this one and duplicate it. So what I'll do is I'll do Alt, click and drag, and see it just made a copy. And I'm just going to make several copies, and as I copy them, kind of adjust them where I want them to be. You have to hit enter to lock in the transformation, adjust it. And I saw this, you know, it kind of looks like a handmade font. And this is a way that you can make that without having to literally draw your own squigglies, which is how I did on the loved one, the bulldog. So I'll click and drag. So basically you won't have to do this. This will already be there for the love, but you will have to do this particular part to go around, for instance, the sunflower here. See how it doesn't line up? So we'll take that squiggle and we'll make it work. Maybe bring one, hit enter to lock in your transformation before you try to hold down Alt. If you're on the Mac, it'll be Option, I believe. And see, I'm just replicating that little detail. And I didn't think so, but it really does add a little bit of flair to the design. So like when we scroll or zoom back, we can see how it kind of builds a little character on that design. But if you don't like the squiggles at all, you can turn them completely off. All right, and then you will go ahead and keep placing these around. Like I said, I'll have them everywhere. It doesn't make sense for me to put so many of them around the sunflower here, because depending on what image you put here, make sure it's a clean image. If you have a lot of trash or debris on the outside of your image, it will show with this outline here. And if that's the case, then I would encourage you to turn off the layer effect for that particular image, or just clean up around the image, or put a nice strong clean outline around it before you bring it in. All right, so that is it. I think we went over everything from changing out the image to the colors to the prints, and you can just imagine how crazy you can go with this design and how many different variations you can do based on your local high school teams, maybe even the interests, the festivals and fairs that are going on. This can really be a very, very versatile design. So I can't wait to see what you all do in class with it. It'll be uploaded by 7. Make sure you have it downloaded by 8, because the class and coupon will expire by 8. And you have to have the file downloaded. If the file does not download before class, that usually means that your computer cannot handle Photoshop or may not be able to handle this larger file. So please do your best to contact Photoshop and see what you may have to do to upgrade your system. Now, unfortunately, you may have to even buy a new computer to really rock with Photoshop the way that you deserve to rock with it. So that might be an investment for some of you, but I know that upgrading the computer has helped a lot of you be able to really do some phenomenal work with these templates. All right, my loves, I will check y'all soon. Y'all know what it is. I love you, appreciate you dearly. And until next time, bye.